This is Cindy DeYoung from 3Ds. We're gonna do another recycle for the American Girl doll and any other 18-inch doll. This is a shirt that I'm going to recycle. It's kind of worn out, you can see, so it's not super wearable, but the rest of it is in perfect shape. So I thought that this elastic part would be really cute as a dress. And so I've got my pattern. I've chosen to do this little one right down here. It's the same as this one. And I may do the shrug because I think I can get it out of the sleeve really easy. It's a pretty good size sleeve that I can use the material out of, but I don't know, it's hard to see, but there's a, it's kind of a bodice piece right here, but it will work perfectly with my line right here. I have pulled out my pattern pieces, and they're of such that you can do it on a fold, but it will go all the way around. It's one piece that will go all the way around. The top is a little straighter because it's asking you to add this piece, but we've already got that. So in order to make that easier to cut out, I've already put my bodice pieces together here and modified it so that I could just cut it out in one. So this will be on the fold. I'll fold this piece in half and we can cut it out, and the gathery part will be right here. The seam will be right here, and then there's a place to put a ruffle along the bottom that has a set of ruffles there. Or I can do just the one ruffle, and I haven't decided just yet. I may or may not do two ruffles. We'll get to that point. So I'm going to get started and lay out my fabric just right. And then again, this is my pattern piece. This is the shrug pieces that I'll use a little later. So I don't have my paper scissors right here. I'll have to go get them. Oh, and sneak peek, this is going to go on another recycle. Okay, I'm going to fold this in half. I want to make sure I use the part that's good for the roughly part that has good elastic, because it's kind of stretched out over here. But also, it in the pattern shows to do some lace around the top, and that will also help hold the top better so it won't stretch out. So I think I've got that where I need it. I'm trying to make sure the seam is at the same point, so I don't have one side up and the other side down. And I'll get this paper piece cut and I'll be right back. Now I'm going to lay this so that my dotted line is along the seam line here. And I can put this on the fold. And I kind of got to move it around because it's obviously a previously cut and worn piece that I can't modify right in the middle. But I can work with it. Okay, and then it's not going to be perfectly flat because there's a little bit of ruffly up here at the top. Oops, I've got the little tie down here. Alright. I love a rotary cutter. I mean, there's things that I need to use scissors for, but whenever I can use the rotary cutter, I do. Okay. Like right there for my little tab. And this will be in the back, so it will just help me put the back together where it should be. Okay, now I just kind of showed you that there were strings on this, and because of that, I'm going to use these strings to be the straps. These straps are a little wider, but I'm going to use them so that I can tie it right on top. And I'll cut that later so I can figure out how much I need, which won't be too much later. But I've got all the rest of this that has a nice hem. Sorry, my iron just decided it was going to turn off. I've got all this material that I can use for possibly another dress or a skirt or something else. I'll figure out something else, but we'll do that. And then again, I will cut this sleeve off and use the sleeve to make the shrug. All right. And I think I can use the fold right there for this back piece that goes on the, let's see, I'd kind of like to have that right in there, so we'll move that down just a little bit where we can get it. And I haven't read the pattern to see what it calls for, but I will cut this out twice so that I can, it'll be double layered. It'll be inside out, so I don't have to do facings and stuff like that. It's just a lot easier. So I'll cut this and move. Come back just a little bit. I think I can go ahead and do this. And I just said I liked my rotary, but I was too lazy to pick it up. How about that? I just wanted to get that over. Okay, now we're right there. The little sleeve part. I'll just go ahead and cut on down, then I can use my scissors. Pull that over there so I can cut it just a little better. I could use a lot of pins, but it's, when these pattern pieces are so little, it's kind of weird to put a whole bunch of pins in it. Guess not weird, it just feels like overkill. Okay, there's one piece there. The other piece here. Actually got it straight under there. I can feel a crease from the fabric. Okay. Then under the sleeve. took this to my serger and serged it, and as I expected, because this is t-shirt fabric, it kind of pulled it out a little bit. So what I've done is take a stitch, just a regular sewing stitch, and gone through my serging stitch. And then what I'm doing is trying to tighten it, if I can get it to lay out there. I'm just pulling it tight to fit the pattern piece. So there's that. I've got to stretch just a little bit more right here. Actually, it's pretty good. No, see, it's still a little stretched out. So I've pulled my back string, if you can see that. I've pulled the back string so that I should cut it right here so I can do it better, because one side goes one way and one goes the other. I want the side that's going across here. Okay, so I just kind of pull it, and then I'm going to put some seam tape over it, bias tape. And then I'm going to put a lace on it. We're upcycling, so I'm just using what I have, and I happen to have some green. But there is just a little bit of green in there that will kind of bring this out, so it will just be an accent. Okay, so we'll take it from this side, pull the string that goes that way. Right there. It's looking a little better, a little more shape. Okay. All right, I got my bias tape here. It's very thin, so I'm hoping that it's gonna work on here okay. I pinned it really good because I really had to stuff the material up inside there. I'm going to do it with white thread just so you can see at the end what it looks like, and then you won't see the white thread anyway once I put the lace on it. I didn't do a back stitch over there, so we'll do one right there. See if we can. Get your work in there. Got it up here at this top, where it's going to round a little bit, so I gotta really make sure the fabric is in there. If it was cotton, I probably wouldn't have rounded that, because I don't know, maybe I would have. Maybe it looks cute rounded. Here we are to the other side. Over here, this side where I didn't pin it on at the very end. See what it did. So it sewed that on there, and then there's the back side. Can't see the back stitch because I left it the other color, but let's see if it's stretched out of place. Not too bad. Pretty much the same size. This other side might be stretched just a little bit, but okay. Then I've got my lace. And I couldn't decide if I wanted to go down with it or up with it. But you know, that's the right side, so maybe we're gonna go down with it. Needle down. I can move it around just a little bit. There we go. Try to keep it as neat as I can so it looks good on there. Move that around just a little bit. Okay. I think once we iron it, it'll stay down there a little bit. Come around to the back. Yeah. And then we'll sew up the back side. Put us a Velcro here to stitch it, or a button, or a snap. And we'll put the ruffle on the bottom. I'm decided I'm just going to do one ruffle, and I'll probably do it just a little wider than the pattern. But maybe we'll measure it on the doll and see how far it needs to go. I'm ready to do the ruffle for this, and I've decided that I'm going to use the rest of what was on the top of that shirt, the part that was stretched out in the middle. I've taken it undone from the rest of the top of the shirt. Can't tell now what it was, but it was on there like that. I've taken it off, and I think I'm going to try and use it because I just kind of think this is a cute hem. I need about, I think about 2 inches. So if we cut about 2 inches, it's about right there with the seam. So I need to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, between the 6th and the 7th line. I've trimmed that off now, and just to set it there. I think it's really cute, and what I'll do is just where this part was. I'm sorry, we have a bit of a lapse in video there. Didn't realize that my phone had stopped recording. What I was saying was that I was going to gather this section that was a little bit less tight in the elastic, I guess you want to call it. And it turned out okay. So I did put that right in the front, and then I sewed up the back, sewed up my little seams, and then I'm going to, I was thinking about putting it where I could tie a bow on her shoulders, but it's going to have the little shrug, and that will kind of go funny over a bow. So I'm going to take the ties from the shirt, and I'm thinking if it'll work, I want to braid it. Make 3 pieces and braid it. This is just 2, but give you the idea. And then I'll put that over the top. I'll have to measure it. So here's my doll. And it turned out really cute on her. So I could put it on, but I got to take it back off to put the straps on it. So I'll do that, and then I will be back. All right. Alright, I marked center, and then I put the little straps right there. I decided not to braid them because it was a little bulky and it looked not as neat as I wanted it to. And then I measured back here. I went ahead and put the Velcro on, so it is basically done. This piece is from the serging, and I need to feed it back into the seam. Same with that. But we'll go ahead and try it on her. Decided to kind of bring it more towards the center, so I was wondering how it was going to work out. And let's see, maybe I got it too loose. I kind of measured, but it'll work. Works just fine. Okay, so there she is in the dress, and then I will sew up the shrug. So the shrug is 2 pieces. Let's see. This is the back. Well, if I can get a hold of it. My fingers are not grasping. And then we need to put the front. Goodness. So that's the sleeve. So it goes. There we go. I did have it right. So this is the sleeve here. This is the top. Had me going for just a minute. I wasn't sure what I did. But we're good. Okay. So there's one, and then I need to do the other one. I'll sew up the seams, and then I'll bring it back. Alright, I went to the machine and sewed up. Oh, I've missed one spot. I've got to do this other side. When I went around the bottom, I left this part open because this is the seam under the arm. And this and this. Ouch! So I will go finish sewing up this last seam that I missed, and then I'll clip it and we'll turn it inside out. Alright, let's see if we can turn it inside out through this little hole. But it's not a big piece, so we can do it. We can do it. The pattern instructions, well, the pattern and the instructions just did one layer. They only cut out the front and the back for one copy, one piece, but that's what I want to say. And then did hems all the way around the edges. So I'm not sure which way is easier, but I kind of liked this way because everything was inside. All the seams, everything were inside, and I didn't have anything raw, except I'm going to have the seam underneath the arm. But that's just a little piece, and that won't bother much. I will do a top stitching over this so that it's sits still, doesn't move around. But okay, and of course we'll have to iron it, but there's one of our seams. And here's the other seam for this side. And then on the side we've got that seam and that seam. And here's our neckline. So we'll get the iron out, press it, do our little underarm seam, and she'll have a little bow. What do we call this thing? A shrug to go over her dress. And here's her in her dress. So we'll go sew that up. All right, I top stitched. I decided to top stitch it in white since I had lace and stuff, although I could have done it in dark blue too, but I top stitched all the way around, and then I did our little seams, cut our threads, and I clipped it so that it would turn easy. Maybe I said that, I don't know. But the other thing I wanted to note was that I did not use the serger when I sewed it up. I felt like it might stretch around if I did, so I just used the regular sewing machine. We'll turn that out. Give it just a little press here on the arms. Make sure I don't burn me. I didn't, but it felt close. Get this other side. It won't iron too well under there, but yeah, we'll try it on. Okay. Cute, cute. See how the back looks. Looks like my dolly needs a bath. Okay. Well, there's outfit number 1. I'm going to add another outfit to the end of this video. We'll see what I make. Thanks for watching thus far. Please subscribe and give me a thumbs up. That really helps me get to my subscribers and my views. I'm cutting these so that I have the hem right here. I don't have to redo the hem. I've laid it out on the line, or on the straight of grain, yeah. I'm bypassing my tabs. Probably shouldn't, but I did. did that from the back of the skirt, or the shirt, excuse me. Okay, I've sewn up these little pants. My hem turned out really good. And then I'm putting the elastic in. I use a 1/2 inch elastic. This takes about 10 inches. And I've sewn my casing so that all of my seams go one way so I can get my elastic in there. So we just thread it through. And then when I did the stitching for the casing, I used a double needle. And the double needle makes it so you can stretch it. It makes a zigzag kind of on the back. So it gives some stretch a little bit. I'll get this threaded and sew it through, and I'll be back. Okay, I have a couple of different ways that I do my elastic together to sew it. This one I still had my double needle in, so I just did 2 stitches across because it will give. So otherwise I take a zigzag across this way. Unfortunately, it kind of made a mess this time because it was just a quick thing and pulled all my thread down underneath. It's okay though, and then it just slides back inside. And then the reason I didn't take my double needle out was because I needed to finish this off. So I used my serger. I did do my regular sewing machine on the sides. Inside I just did the serger. We can turn it out. And I'll put a little tag in the back so the little girl, whoever has this, can know that that's the back. And there they are. I'm just going to show you real quick. I've done it in some of my other videos, but rather than make you go look for one, I'll show you what I do to knot my serger thread. So I just kind of pull it till it makes its own little knot there. Pull it tight, get these strings out. And then I've got a really wide needle to put the threads in. I just stick it in the seam in between there. Put my threads through this needle. Come on. Got one through. The other didn't want to. And if this other one was really long, I'd try to thread that through there too. But it's just going to pull it inside the seam. So it just pulls the whole thing down inside. I can clip it off. And I've trimmed all my threads off. And we'll hurry and try them on her. Wow. Just got some stretch pants. Now she just needs a shirt. Thanks for watching, and come back and see what I do with this next.